His squadron flew under the Earth, into the Earth.
It turns into this lush and green area, and he can't even believe his eyes.
Around the North Pole, temperatures can plunge to minus 40 degrees Celsius. In Antarctica, they fall even lower, often averaging near minus 60. It is the coldest, driest, and most isolated continent on Earth. And yet, more than 90% of the meteorites ever discovered have been found here, scattered across a landscape almost no human has ever walked. But the real secrets are not on the surface. They lie beneath kilometers of ice. Under this frozen shield, scientists have uncovered a colossal impact crater, larger than the one believed to have wiped out the dinosaurs. Hundreds of underground lakes are quietly moving water through hidden channels. Strange sounds echo from deep below the ice. And scattered across the continent are geological formations that look almost too perfect to be natural. Why does this continent preserve so many traces of cosmic collisions? And is Antarctica hiding something far larger than we imagine? The giant scar beneath Wilks Land. Deep under more than 1,600 meters of ice in East Antarctica lies a structure so vast it stretches nearly 480 kilometers across. Satellite data shows a circular formation with unusual density and strong magnetic signals, clear signs of a massive impact. Multiple research teams now agree this is an intact crater left by an ancient meteorite collision. The center of this structure sits in Wilks Land, a region permanently sealed beneath ice. Magnetic measurements show bedrock warped by an enormous force. One geophysicist summarized the discovery simply: "We're observing clear evidence of a planetary collision that once happened right here." This crater may hold clues to one of the greatest extinction events in Earth's history. In fact, it is believed to be even larger than the famous Chicxulub crater in Mexico, the one associated with the dinosaurs' disappearance. Geologically, Wilks Land once formed part of the supercontinent Gondwana. The impact appears to sit near a major continental boundary, suggesting the collision may have triggered large-scale fractures that accelerated the breakup of the ancient landmass. One researcher described it as a glimpse into the origins of global continental separation. And Wilks Land holds another secret. It contains one of the largest concentrations of ancient meteorites ever recovered from Antarctica, turning the region into a crossroads between space history and Earth's own geological past. The volcanoes beneath West Antarctica. On the opposite side of the continent, another discovery reshaped scientific understanding. Beneath the thick ice of West Antarctica, surveys have revealed at least 138 hidden volcanoes. Many rise more than 900 meters tall, their peaks buried beneath up to 3 kilometers of ice. Radar imaging exposed clusters of pyramidal rock formations at the base of the Transantarctic Mountains. Their shapes were so uniform that scientists initially suspected anomalies. But further analysis confirmed something far more dramatic: a vast volcanic system. One researcher explained that the consistency in shape and spacing showed these were real volcanoes, not random geological features. Among them is Mount Erebus, the southernmost active volcano on Earth. Deep within its core sits a persistent lava lake that has remained molten for over 1 million years. The density of volcanoes in this region surprised scientists. Previously, West Antarctica was not considered highly geothermally active. But the heat rising from these hidden volcanoes explains another mystery: why some subglacial lakes remain unfrozen beneath kilometers of ice. That heat also affects the glaciers themselves. Warmth from below makes the ice more mobile, allowing entire glaciers to slide faster than expected, quietly reshaping the continent. The hidden world of subglacial lakes. Beneath East Antarctica lies a vast, invisible network of water. More than 400 subglacial lakes have been mapped so far. The largest is Lake Vostok, buried over 3 kilometers below the surface and stretching hundreds of kilometers across. Despite complete darkness and crushing pressure, the water inside remains liquid. Heat from the Earth's core, combined with the weight of the ice above, prevents it from freezing. Satellite data shows something even more surprising. The ice surface above these lakes rises and falls over time, clear evidence that water is moving beneath the frozen crust. As one NOAA researcher put it, "The ice isn't stationary, the water is moving beneath it." These lakes are not isolated pools. Some fill up, then suddenly drain through hidden channels that lead directly to the ocean. When they release water, the pressure shifts and cracks begin forming in the ice above. One of these lakes, Lake Wilks, was successfully drilled. Scientists expected a lifeless environment. Instead, they found dense populations of bacteria, far more than predicted. Life was thriving in total darkness, cut off from sunlight for thousands, possibly millions, of years. A biologist studying the samples said the ecosystem didn't rely on light at all. It had existed in isolation for an immense span of time. At the bottom of these lakes, layers of ancient sediment preserved dust, sea salt, and volcanic ash, forming a natural archive of Earth's climate history. And the lakes continue to change. Their cycles of filling and draining may even influence global sea levels. The sounds beneath the ice. During a deep ice core survey in East Antarctica, scientists encountered something unexpected. As they lowered blocks of ice into a narrow drill shaft, strange sounds began to echo upward from the depths. The tones shifted rapidly, rising and falling like distorted echoes inside a vast underground chamber. Multiple samples produced the same results. The sound clearly originated far below the surface. Researchers believe the noise may come from resonance inside long and narrow cavities beneath the ice. As objects fall through these spaces, changing frequencies create a repeating acoustic effect. But the clarity and intensity of the sound raised new questions. It did not behave like typical echoes in thick ice. One scientist described it as having depth, like it never fully faded away. Now, researchers are studying the possibility of hollow rock layers or low-density pockets beneath the ice sheet. Some are even exploring whether acoustic recording could become a new method for mapping hidden structures deep below Antarctica's surface. The unexplained sounds of Challenger Deep. Far from Antarctica, at the deepest point on Earth, Challenger Deep, another acoustic mystery emerged. A titanium-encased recorder was lowered more than 10 kilometers below sea level. For nearly a month, it captured sounds from the ocean floor. Among them were long, low-pitched roars that appeared irregularly. They did not match ship noise or known marine animals. Technicians described the sounds as distant, prolonged rumblings that stopped suddenly, unlike anything previously recorded. The device also detected small, intermittent hissing noises. These signals did not align with ocean currents or marine activity. There were no earthquakes recorded at the time, and the equipment was carefully stabilized to eliminate mechanical vibrations. When scientists analyzed the frequencies, they discovered most of the sounds were outside the range of whales or other echolocating animals. Even more intriguing, the signal showed no characteristics of reflected waves, suggesting the source was located directly on the sea floor. The sounds are now part of a long-term monitoring project, as researchers attempt to determine whether they repeat. The Pyramids of Antarctica. Satellite images of the Antarctic Peninsula once sparked intense speculation. Rising from the ice were sharp pyramid-shaped peaks with flat surfaces and symmetrical sides. To some observers, they looked like artificial structures, but geological surveys identified them as nunataks, natural rock peaks that rise above the surrounding ice. Their shapes formed through uplift and centuries of erosion by wind and ice. There was no evidence of cutting, construction, or artificial materials. One engineer explained that the symmetry came from stable geological conditions and long-term erosion, not human design. Still, under certain lighting conditions, satellite images made them resemble ancient pyramids, fueling ongoing speculation and debate. When Antarctica was a rainforest. Deep inside Antarctica, scientists discovered traces of a completely different world. Sediment samples revealed fossilized roots, leaf imprints, and ancient pollen. These remains showed that the region once supported dense, tropical vegetation. The soil layers where they were found were formed before the ice arrived, suggesting the continent once had a warm, humid climate. Between the Amundsen and Bellingshausen seas, researchers found petrified wood with thick growth rings, evidence of trees that grew year-round. One scientist remarked that there had been no winter here at all. In another sample, a fossilized tube-shaped organism, likely an ancient worm, was discovered. It dated back about 50 million years and belonged to a group no longer present in Antarctica. Elsewhere, pollen and peat deposits indicated a fully developed ecosystem. The pollen resembled plants found today in South America and Southeast Asia, hinting at ancient continental connections. Antarctica, now a frozen desert, was once part of a living, breathing rainforest world. Blood Falls, a red river in the ice. Since 1911, explorers have reported a strange sight at Taylor Glacier, a stream of deep red water flowing out across the ice. It became known as Blood Falls. At first glance, it looked like the glacier itself was bleeding, but chemical analysis revealed the truth. The red color comes from iron-rich water emerging from a hidden subglacial lake. When the iron contacts air, it oxidizes, turning the water crimson. The water is cold, salty, and completely dark. It has been isolated from the outside world for hundreds of thousands of years. Despite the extreme conditions, the water continues to flow, evidence of an active underground system of interconnected channels beneath the glacier. Life at the bottom of the world. In the middle of this frozen continent sits McMurdo Station, the largest research base in Antarctica. It operates year-round, housing hundreds of scientists, engineers, and support staff. The station includes laboratories, living quarters, supply depots, and even a temporary airfield. And in the middle of all this ice, there is an ATM. Installed by a major bank, it serves the station's residents, making it the southernmost ATM on Earth. Life at McMurdo is tightly controlled. Every activity follows strict environmental rules under the Antarctic Treaty. Waste cannot be discharged into the environment. Everything is handled like a sealed laboratory. From this isolated hub, scientists monitor the atmosphere, the ice sheets, and the changing climate of the planet. The ecosystem beneath the ice. Despite its harsh conditions, Antarctica supports a surprisingly stable marine ecosystem. At the center of it all is krill, a small crustacean that forms the base of the food chain. Vast swarms of krill feed whales, seals, and penguins. Penguins gather in colonies of thousands along the coast, huddling together to conserve heat. Their formations are not random. They follow precise, almost mathematical patterns that maximize survival. Some Antarctic fish have evolved in extraordinary ways. Certain species lack red pigment in their blood because they produce almost no hemoglobin. Their transparent bodies help them survive in the freezing depths. Seals dive deep through cracks in the ice to hunt, while whales migrate to these waters each year to feed on krill. The hidden landscape beneath the ice. The ice sheet covering Antarctica is the largest on Earth. In many places, it stretches more than 3 kilometers thick. But beneath that frozen surface lies a landscape few people have ever imagined. Satellite scans reveal deep valleys, vast plains, and towering mountain ranges hidden under the ice. Some regions lie far below sea level, connected by enormous basins and fissures. In some areas, glaciers converge and flow toward the ocean, affecting how quickly the ice melts and how much water enters the seas. Antarctica is not a flat, frozen plate. It is a complex, rugged continent buried under ice. A continent still full of secrets. From giant impact craters to underground lakes, from mysterious sounds beneath the ice to thriving ecosystems in total darkness, Antarctica continues to challenge what we think we know about Earth. Each discovery redraws the map of the planet's past and hints at its future. What lies beneath the ice is not just frozen history. It is a world still moving, still changing, and still full of unanswered questions. And the deeper scientists look, the more Antarctica reveals that it may be one of the most mysterious places on Earth.